Hi, I'm Romy. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Ergobaby Omni 360 to carry your child on the back. Now there's lots of different ways to get your child on the back and I'm going to show you 3 different methods today. Have a try with each one, see which one feels most comfortable for you. When you are doing this for the first time, it's worth having somebody there just to kind of spot you, just to make sure you're okay. Or if you're trying it on your own, if you have a soft surface nearby, just in case you want to put baby down, then you've got that nearby. It takes a couple of goes to learn how to do this and it's totally possible to do on your own, as I'll be showing with my doll in a minute. So here I've got the Ergobaby Omni 360 and I've got it adjusted to the wider width here. Have it adjusted to whatever position you would have width-wise for your child facing inwards on your front. So if you've got it on kind of the mid position for the front facing in, then have it the same from the back. The same with the height of the panel. So for the doll that I'm using, I'm going to have this folded down in that standard position like that. If your child is quite tall, you may want to have this folded up to the higher position. But whatever position you have the carrier set up for a front facing in carrier, for a front facing in carry, do the same for the back. Now what I'm going to do, the first time I'm going to do this, I'm just going to do this up on my waist on the front, just so I can do the straps up. So for a back carry, you always have the straps done up straight, like a rucksack, and obviously on the front you can have them either straight or crossed. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my strap on one side and just bring it around and feed it in through the elastic and clip it in to the clip on the same side. So I've got a loop going around. I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit because they don't need to be as loose when they're going straight as they do when they're crossed. So I've just got a loop going on here and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So bring it round, feed it through the elastic and do the clip up and then just tighten it up a little bit so it's not too loose. Okay, so I've now got 2 loops here, 1 for each strap, and just check the webbing isn't twisted and it all looks fairly even between the 2. I'm also just going to have a look at the chest strap here. So depending on how you've used the carrier previously, it'll vary where it is. So if it's right up by the poppers, that means it's going to be quite high up here. So I'm just going to adjust it to sort of halfway point, so it's going to sit across my chest. It will obviously vary depending on how tall you are and how big your baby is, but that's going to be about roughly where I want it for mine. So now I've got that all done up, I'm going to swivel this round to the back. Now for a back carry, you want to wear your child a little bit higher than you would do on your front. So on your front, they generally have their head sort of around this position. On the back, you want them to be able to see over your shoulder. So you're going to have them a little bit higher up there. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this now on my waist rather than on my hips. Again, as I said earlier, it depends how tall you are, but basically rule of thumb is if you've got them on your front, think about where your waistband is there and just shift it up maybe a couple of inches, 5 centimetres, just to get it a little bit higher for a back carry. So the first method I'm going to show you starts with the carrier on your back. So tighten this up, so this is fairly snug around here, and check that the carrier is sitting evenly, so you've got the same amount of fabric on either side like that, so when it comes up it's even. I'm now going to pick up my child. Okay, so hold your child on whichever side feels comfortable, and what you're going to do is hold them as far round as you can comfortably with the opposite arm, like that. The arm that's on the same side as the child, you're going to do a sort of front crawl movement, so it comes straight over the top, so you're holding both of them from the front on the same side. Now I'm going to take this hand here and I'm going to bring it around so I can reach my child and just carefully bounce them around onto your back. Now keep leaning forwards just because then gravity's helping you. Then you're going to slide your hand under the base of the carrier and just bring it up over their bottom and back as far as you can reach. Like that. Let's go turn on this side so you can see. So I've just got this held up nice and high. Keep one hand on your child all the time, and with the other hand you're going to bring the strap straight up and back like that and up over your shoulder. Now hold them with the other hand and bring this one straight back and up over your shoulder. Now the reason for bringing it straight back is that means there's no chance it's going to get stuck underneath their arms or get caught underneath them. It means you know that it's up over their back. So bring these over here. Now, depending on how tight you've got your straps, you may want to tighten them a little bit now. Just tighten this one a little bit and then this one a little bit. Then I'm just going to let go and do the clip up here. Okay, now tighten your clip up so these are lying flat on your shoulders and you can stand up. have a little feel and just move my little one's arms out the side there so a real child can move their arms. Have a little feel and check the carriers coming nicely from one knee to another. If you've got a mirror, have a look in the mirror and just check this is coming no lower than their armpits and no higher than the nape of their neck. And also check they're held nice and snug. So on the front you'd say as tight as holding them in arms. Here, just give a little pull on these. If you feel you need to tighten these up a little bit, just bring them forwards and take hold of these and give a little bounce as you pull them forwards to tighten. And what that will do is it will just lift baby's weight as you tighten, so you're not trying to lift them while you're tightening it. So you want them held nice and secure on their back, so even if they were to lean, they're not going anywhere. So that's pretty much it with that. They can have their arms out over the top if they want, as long as it's no lower than their armpits. Ideally, you want to be able to see them over your shoulder, just so you can check they're okay. So if I wanted, I could get this one a little bit higher up, just by boosting them up a little bit like that, and tighten these a little bit forward, just to get this one a little bit higher so I can see them over my shoulder. But the key things are that they're held nice and secure, and the carrier's no lower than the armpits, no higher than the nape of the neck. Okay, that's the first method of getting them up. I'm going to take this one down and then I'm going to show you the second method. So to get them down, I'm just going to reverse exactly what I've done. Unclip the clip on the front, put one hand on baby, bring the strap off one shoulder and then hold my baby with that hand, and do the same with the other side. Bring the strap off the shoulder, like that, and then carefully bring the fabric down over their bottom and back, and I'm going to just slide them back round to the opposite hip. Now with that method you can also, if you've got an older child, you can actually ask them to jump up on your shoulders. So if you've say got a sort of 2 or 3 year old, you can bend down and you can say jump on my shoulders and get them to jump up and hold on. It obviously depends on how old your child is. I'm working on the principle we've got a child who can sit up, maybe crawl, but isn't actually walking and standing yet. Okay, so the second method is we're going to start with the carrier just on one side. So it's the same movement, but instead of moving the child without the carrier and having the carrier behind, we're going to bring the carrier around with the child. So what I'm going to do is the one that's towards the back of me, I'm going to loosen it off quite a bit because I'm going to be bringing that one round over here. And I'm going to loosen this one as well, just a little bit, just so I've got a bit of space. So I've got the carrier basically like I would do for a hip carry. I'm going to pick up my child. So hold your child so they are central above the carrier here. So you've got the same amount of leg on either side. Then you're going to bring all the fabric up over their bottom and back and bring the straps around to the front. Now what you're going to do now is just lean your child away from you a little bit, bring the straps to the front, and you're going to hold between the straps. So if you see my hand like this, I'm going to hold one strap with my thumb and the other with my fingers so I can let go of either of them independently. So this strap at the front, I'm going to hold with my thumb, and then the other one with my fingers. So can you see, I've got my hand in the middle, so I can let go of this one, I can let go of that one independently. Now, it depends on how flexible your arms are, so how this goes. I'm just going to make sure I've got a good grip of these. So you're going to hold these like this, and what you're going to do is kind of like a lasso movement around your head. So you're going to hold these, and I've got baby held nice and secure there. Okay, slide them around as far as you can on here, and then you're going to take this free arm and slide it through there. Does that make sense? So the one that's behind baby, you're going to slide straight through there. Okay, I'm then going to just hold that strap with the hand I slid through. Then going to release it with the other hand and bring this arm right up and round. So it's like kind of doing a circle around my head. As I do that, bring it around over my back so they are central, and then get this arm through. And you can either do it like that, or you can put the elbow through if you prefer. So you can either do elbow first or hand first, whichever feels right for you. I'm keeping this nice and tight so they're held secure while I'm bringing my arm through. I'm then going to tighten this one up first because obviously it's the looser one, like that. And then just going to double check that they're nice and central on my back, and then tighten both of them up like that. And then I can stand up and do the clip up together. Okay, same checks as before. Check that it's fitting nicely from one knee to another. Check the carrier is going no higher than the nape of their neck and no lower than their armpits. So that's sitting nicely. Not sure where that hand is. Bring that out there. So they can move their own arms if they want to. Okay, and also check they're held nice and secure. So you shouldn't feel you need to tighten these. If you do, give a little bounce and tighten these up. Check you can see them over your shoulder, and that's basically it. So that's the second method of putting them on. To get them down, just like with the previous method, you can just reverse it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to undo this one and bring my arm through here. So put my arm through, then I'm going to slide them back round with the carry around them. Once they get to the front, I can bring this arm through, and then you can either put them on the front or you can get them out. So the final method of putting your baby on your back. I'm just going to put this one down. So this method, it starts with your child basically completely in the carrier on your front. The difference is that you're going to have the straps quite loose. So I'm just going to loosen these ones right off because I need a bit of space to be able to move my arms around it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen this off a tiny bit too, just so it moves around me a bit more easily. Okay, so you pick your child up and you put them in the carrier. You bring this up, one strap goes over one shoulder and the other one goes over the other. Now remember, this is a little bit loose at the minute. Reach around and do the clip up behind your neck. Okay, so what we're going to do is, this is called walking the Egyptian sometimes. I'm just going to loosen it a little bit more, just so I've got lots of room. So keep hold of your child while you're doing this because obviously it is loosened off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this arm out over the top like that. Okay, I'm then going to slide them around and I'm going to bring this arm between me and baby. This is why you need it nice and loose. I'm going to loosen it a little bit more. This is why I'm showing you this one third, because personally I find this more difficult, but I know lots of people really like this method. Okay, so you're going to bring this around and put your arm through here. Okay, so it's exactly like we've just done with the previous one, except they're done up. So, got my arm through here. I'm going to bring this around, all the way around like that, so this strap now ends up on this shoulder. Then keep my hand on baby, because obviously they are a little bit loose. Then if you take your elbow or your hand, you can go through here like that. Okay, check your baby is nice and even on your back, and then you're going to need to massively tighten these up in order to make sure baby is held secure. So get that one tightened up nicely and get this one tightened up nicely. If I can find the strap, there we go. Right, get those two all tightened up like that. So same as before, check it's fitting nicely from one knee to the other. Check that the carrier is no higher than the nape of their neck and no lower than their armpits. It's going to get them a little bit more even in the carrier. Tighten the waistband up a little bit if you need to, if you loosened it off to get them around. Do that up. Take baby's weight if you need to while you're doing it. And then just make sure they're held really nice and snug so they're not pulling back away from you. There we go. So ideally you want to be able to see them over your shoulder, so if you need to you can shift them a bit higher. But that's the final method of getting them on the back. You can undo it in exactly the same way. So what I'm going to do is loosen this off. So to get them down, you can keep it on how you've just done. Depends how flexible you are as to whether you can loosen these. So bring these straight back to loosen them off. And bring this one straight back to loosen it off. And then I'm going to bring that arm through and out over the top. Okay, and then I'm going to slide them back round and bring this arm through and over and bring them round to the front. And then you can obviously put your arms back in and put them back on the front, or you can undo the clip and take them out. So those are 3 different methods of putting your baby on your back using the Ergobaby Omni 360. As you can see from my demonstrations, I find some of them easier than others, and everybody is different. Some people love the final method, don't like the first method. Others really get on with the second one, aren't so keen on the other 2. It's completely up to you. So it's worth trying a few different methods to see which one suits you and your flexibility and just how your brain works. So have a go with each of them. It's recommended you do wait till baby can sit up unaided before putting them on your back, just because They're a little bit more robust at that stage, so having them on your back, you obviously can't check them as much as on the front. Once they can sit up, they're a little bit kind of easier to manoeuvre as well. So it's totally up to you, but generally from around sort of 6 months age. If you do want any additional help with this, feel free to send me a message. I'm happy to do video calls just to check, or if you're local to me in Petersfield in Hampshire in the UK, then obviously drop in and see me. I hope that was helpful to you.